YouTubers, what is up? I am back today to do a book review video. I cannot believe it has taken me this long to get this video up. I was so excited to read this book, and when I finished it, I just kind of moved on to other books, and I've been caught up with like doing all my planner stuff, so I'm doing it now. If you haven't read the book yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, but if you've been living under a rock, this is Lady Midnight. It is Cassandra Clare's first novel in her newest Shadowhunter series called The Dark Artifices. This takes place in the Los Angeles Institute, and we have our protagonists, Emma Carstairs and Julian Blackthorne. Now, these characters were introduced in the Mortal Instruments series in City of Heavenly Fire, and at the time they were just 12 years old, and it was the battle against Sebastian, and you could tell already that they were going to stick around because they were such strong characters and they had a story to tell. Emma and Julian are now parabatai. I hope I'm saying that right. Basically, they're linked, and it's like the most sacred bond Shadowhunters can have, but they are not allowed to be together in a romantic sort of way at all. That is the law, and the Clave is very serious about the law. Their motto is the law is hard, but the law is law, or something like that. And I guess you can see where I'm going with this. There is the whole forbidden love theme going on, which I really like forbidden love so much more than love triangles. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around a lot, but there's so much that happens in this book. I don't know where to begin, but I guess I'll start at the beginning. Dead bodies are showing up around Los Angeles, and Emma's trying to get to the bottom of it while trying to figure out if this is linked to how her parents died. And the Clave basically told her that the fair folk had something to do with it, and they don't want her investigating any further on it, but Emma can't let it go until she knows what happened to her parents, how they died, who killed them, and she's out for revenge. The Clave forbids Shadowhunters to work alongside with the fair folk because some of them sided with Sebastian during the war, and that led to the death of many Shadowhunters. But basically they have to break some laws in order to find information on who killed Emma's parents, and also just to sort of put their family back together again. Julian has been sort of the father figure for all of his siblings. He has quite a few siblings to take care of, and he's been the only one to do it because their parents died during the battle. So Julian kind of had to grow up really fast, and you learn later in the story just how busy of a man he's become. I really appreciate the humor that Cassandra Clare puts into her novels, and it kind of just, when you're reading into a serious moment and you're kind of like caught up with the characters and you're kind of holding your breath along with them, there's always some sort of comic relief in there. This was when Julian was covered in blood, so Mark takes off his t-shirt to give it to Julian, and then he had another t-shirt under. Livy says, "Why are you wearing a t-shirt under your other t-shirt?" And he replies, "In case one of them is stolen." I don't know what I found so funny about it, but I was kind of laughing to myself as I read this. It was so stupid, but at the same time, it was hilarious. I love the way the fair folks communicate. They're so logical that their way of communication just seems completely bizarre to the human way of communicating. For example, when they went out to the restaurant, Mark says he wanted to order a plate of strawberries, and the waitress says, "I'm sorry, we don't have that on the menu." He says, "But you do have strawberries on the menu, and I have seen plates being carried to and fro. So it stands to reason that the strawberries could be placed upon a plate and brought to me." Again, the way Mark communicates just cracks me up. I really liked his character. Mark was my absolute favorite character in the book. Now, as for my review, how does this book stand up to the other two Shadowhunter series, and is it necessary for you to read the other two series prior to reading The Dark Artifices? I really like this book, but I didn't get through it as fast as the other books in The Infernal Devices and The Mortal Instruments. I couldn't connect to the characters as well as I did with Tessa, Jem, and Will, and then Clary and Jace. I guess I'm still kind of in the mind frame that Julian and Emma are still 12 years old, and they reference their 12-year-old days a lot too, so you can't really help but to think about them at the age of 12 rather than 17, 16, and yeah, I like the characters, I really do, but I guess what makes the books so likable to me is I love the male character, the strong male character. But comparing Julian to Jace and Will and Jem, there's just no comparison. So I just didn't love the characters quite as much as I did with the previous Shadowhunters, if that makes sense. As for whether or not you can read this series without reading the previous series, I think you can, because Cassandra Clare does such an amazing job in this book referencing characters from previous books. So Magnus Bane makes an appearance, Clary and Jace are here too, just for a little bit. Tessa's around. So without having read the previous books, you won't really know their history or who they are right away, but she does mention that, you know, these characters are from which institute and all that, so you kind of get an idea, so I don't think it's absolutely necessary. It wouldn't hurt to read those first, because that's kind of like what sets you up into the Shadowhunter world, and I think if you were to dive right into this, you would still understand it, but you'd miss out on a lot of the world building. So overall, I give this book 4 out of 5 stars, which is a little different because all of Cassandra's books have always received a 5 out of 5 stars from me. It's really well written, it's exciting, but like I said, I don't really connect with the characters quite as well, and I'm hoping that in the upcoming books I will develop a liking to them a little more. If you've read this book, let me know your thoughts on it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!